In today's high-impact latest news analysis, we bring you an original research-style breakdown of a reported Ukrainian drone operation against Saky airbase in western Crimea. This was not just another drone strike. It was a carefully planned operation built around deception, timing, pressure, and the ability to overload Russia's layered air defense network. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to SkyJet Wings, and turn on the notification bell for more powerful military aviation analysis and battlefield updates. At around 4:14 in the morning, while Crimea was still covered in darkness, a formation of Ukrainian FP-type drones reportedly launched from a hidden site near Odessa and moved across the Black Sea towards Saky airbase. This airfield is one of Russia's key military aviation hubs in Crimea, used to support air operations, aircraft maintenance, logistics, and regional defense. Russia had recently strengthened the area with additional aircraft, including Su-30 fighters, making Saky an even more valuable target. On paper, the Russian side appeared to have the advantage. Crimea is protected by multiple layers of air defense, including long-range missile systems, medium-range interceptors, short-range air defense vehicles, radar stations, and gun systems. But Ukraine was not trying to overpower the system directly. Instead, the operation appeared designed to confuse it, stretch it, and force it to make the wrong choices at the wrong time.
Ukrainian drones did not fly as one simple formation. They split into different groups, each playing a different role. Some drones climbed higher and became more visible to radar, acting like bait. Others dropped low over the Black Sea, using sea clutter, wave reflection, and low altitude to reduce detection. Another group moved away from the obvious route, creating uncertainty about whether the target was really Saky or something else. A reserve group stayed behind, ready to replace any group that was destroyed. This kind of planning shows how modern drone warfare is no longer only about explosives and impact. It is about psychology, timing, and forcing air defense operators into a decision-making trap. First group reportedly climbed higher and increased its visibility on Russian radar screens. To an S-400 crew, those signals would have looked like the clearest and most immediate threat. The drones were visible, fast, and moving into the engagement zone. That forced the Russian crew to react. Interceptor missiles were launched, but the Ukrainian drones suddenly changed course and dived toward the sea surface. This maneuver forced the missiles to adjust their interception path, while their seekers faced a messy background of waves, moisture, foam, and radar reflection. In that moment, the expensive interceptor missiles were no longer chasing a clean target in open sky. They were trying to identify small drones against a noisy surface. This is where cheap drones can create a serious problem for even advanced air defense systems. The drone does not need to defeat the missile with speed or power. It only needs to survive long enough to make the missile lose a clear lock. While the first group pulled Russian attention, another Ukrainian drone group moved low over the Black Sea. Low-altitude flight is risky because a small mistake can send a drone into the water, but it also makes radar tracking more difficult. The curve of the Earth, sea clutter, wind, wave reflection, and the small radar signature of a UAV can all reduce detection reliability. This group reportedly stretched its route away from the obvious path to Saky, making the Russian operators wonder whether the drones were attacking a different target, escaping, or setting up another angle of attack. That uncertainty was valuable. In air defense, hesitation is not neutral. Hesitation gives the attacker time, and time gives the drones distance. As drones approached western Crimea, they entered deeper defensive layers. Russia's protection around Crimea is not built around one system only. It uses multiple systems working together, each designed to cover different ranges and altitudes. The next layer reportedly engaged the drones with missiles better suited for low-flying targets. Some Ukrainian drones were shot down, but the surviving drones changed formation again. They scattered, crossed paths, shifted altitude, and moved through difficult terrain. This made it harder for radar systems to maintain clean tracking. One drone appeared to move left, another dropped lower, another climbed slightly, and their radar returns began to merge and separate. Every recalculation takes time, and in air defense, even a delay of 2 seconds can change the result. This is the key lesson of the strike. Drones were not behaving like traditional aircraft. They were behaving like a coordinated swarm. Their movement was not random, but it was deliberately difficult to predict. One drone could act like the main threat, while another became the real attacker. A drone that looked like it was escaping could suddenly return on a new path. A drone that appeared dangerous could simply be bait. For a combat crew under pressure before dawn, with low visibility, mist, weak thermal signatures, and multiple targets crossing each other, the situation becomes extremely difficult. Fire too early, and missiles may be wasted. Wait too long, and the drones move deeper into the protected zone. Choose the wrong target, and the real strike slips through. Final defensive layer around the airfield reportedly involved a short-range system such as Pantsir, designed to protect high-value targets from drones, cruise missiles, and low-flying threats. At first, this system appeared effective. It reportedly destroyed some drones with missiles and then switched to cannon fire as the remaining UAVs came closer. But close-range defense is brutal. The defenders have only seconds to detect, turn, lock, fire, and confirm the target. The drones are no longer distant signals. They are already inside the final approach. According to the account, while some drones drew fire toward the front of the airfield, one drone moved along the outer flank, curved away from the main firing direction, and attacked from a new angle. The air defense vehicle had to turn, stabilize, reacquire the target, and bring its guns back into line. That short delay was enough. The drone reportedly struck the system, damaging its radar and fire control capability. Once that happened, the final protective gate into Saky Air Base was opened.
With short-range defense disrupted, remaining drones raced toward hangar and aircraft areas. This was the real objective of the operation. Ukraine did not need to destroy the entire airbase. It only needed to hit the parts that make aircraft unable to fly. Hangars, maintenance zones, fuel areas, spare parts depots, ground equipment, and aircraft shelters. The drones reportedly struck multiple hangars where Russian aircraft such as Su-30SM, Su-30, and Su-24 aircraft were located or supported. Explosions inside hangars are especially damaging because pressure, fire, fuel, oil, gas cylinders, wiring, tires, avionics, and maintenance equipment can all turn one impact into a much larger chain of destruction. Even if an aircraft is not completely destroyed, fire and heat can damage its electronics, structure, cockpit systems, and operational readiness. This is why the Saky Air Base strike matters. Crimea is not only a piece of territory, it is a military platform. From Crimea, Russia supports aircraft operations, naval activity, logistics, radar coverage, drone launches, and command networks. Every successful strike against air bases, radar sites, air defense systems, fuel depots, or maintenance areas makes that platform harder to use. Ukraine's wider strategy appears to be focused on isolating Crimea, weakening its defensive shield, and making Russian military operations on the peninsula more costly and more complicated. Strike also shows how modern warfare is changing. In the past, military power was often measured by the size and cost of weapons. A multi-million-dollar missile system was expected to dominate a cheap drone. But Ukraine has shown that the calculation is no longer that simple. Cheap drones can force expensive systems to reveal themselves. They can drain missile stocks. They can overload radar operators. They can create confusion inside command systems. And when they are used in coordinated waves, they can reach targets that were supposed to be protected by advanced defensive layers.
This operation was not about one drone defeating one missile. It was about a plan defeating a defensive mindset. Russian air defense network expected targets. Ukraine created dilemmas. A target can be tracked and destroyed, but a dilemma forces the defender to choose. And when every choice creates a new weakness, even a strong defense can begin to break. Of course, in any war, information must be treated carefully. Ukraine claims successful strikes, while Russia often downplays damage. Full confirmation may require satellite imagery, visual evidence, and follow-up reporting. But if the reported damage at Saky is accurate, the message is powerful. Russia's air defense network in Crimea is under continuous pressure. Ukraine's drone tactics are becoming more complex, and heavily defended airfields are no longer untouchable. So what comes next? Will Ukraine continue targeting air defense systems first? Will fuel depots become the next priority? Or will the campaign focus more heavily on military airfields that help Russia reinforce Crimea? One thing is clear. The battle for Crimea is no longer only about land. It is about systems. Radar systems, fuel systems, aircraft systems, maintenance systems, command systems, and the networks that connect them. If those systems are broken one by one, the military value of Crimea becomes weaker. This was not just a drone strike, it was a message sent across the Black Sea before sunrise. A message that no shield is perfect, no airbase is completely safe, and in modern warfare, intelligence, deception, timing, and coordination can be just as powerful as firepower. If you found this analysis useful, hit the like button, subscribe to SkyJet Wings, and turn on the notification bell for more original research, aviation analysis, and high-impact battlefield updates. Tell us in the comments, what should Ukraine target next? Air defense systems, fuel depots, or the airfields reinforcing Crimea? This is SkyJet Wings. Thank you for watching.